guys, welcome back to Bleav in Eagles. I'm your host, Leigh Mayock, and joining me as always is my dad, Mike. The show is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. You can head over to BetOnline today and use your promo code Bleav, B-L-E-A-V, for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. This weekend, I think betting-wise, I'm just going to parlay money lines. Dad, do you even know what that means?
No.
It means money line means like win or lose. Do you know that? Who wins and who loses? No spread, just straight up win or loss.
Okay.
Okay, and parlaying means like
more than one bet.
Two bets together. Yeah. So I think I'm going to parlay the Chiefs, Lions, and Eagles money lines because that's who I think will win. I don't have any clue who will win Bills, Ravens. I think that's too much of a toss-up. So I'm going to parlay Chiefs, Lions, and Eagles. Do you think that that's a good idea?
I think it's hard to win 3 games in the NFL. However,
you mean like betting?
I mean, it's not like you have to win 2 out of 3. You got to win all 3, right?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, so if one.
But I'm taking it because I need to add all 3 because I'm taking the favorites. Like, there's no bang for your buck if you're just taking the favorites, really.
You would have done probably okay last weekend if you had done the right 3.
Last weekend, I actually did the Eagles money line and Devontae Smith for 50-plus yards, and I won. So that was good.
Well, that's good. I like it.
Yeah.
You're getting creative.
Okay.
All right.
Speaking of last Sunday.
Yeah.
We're coming off an Eagles win. They beat the Packers 22-10 in the NFC wildcard playoff game. Let's start with the good stuff. What are the positives? Aside from the most obvious and the most important, the win, what are the positives that you took away from last week's Eagles game?
Yeah, I think you kind of hit it right on the head. The most important thing is you get a 12-point win in the playoffs. You're probably pretty happy against a good football team. What they did well, I thought, was defensively they were really good. Again, Vic's guys keep getting better and better. I hated, that Nakobe Dean got hurt. Oren Burks came in and did a pretty good job, but Nakobe Dean just flies around. He's tough. He's a good leader. So that I felt badly for the kid more than anything, and for the Eagles. I think the run game is always going to be there, especially when they stay with it. And Saquon and that big O-line wears people down, and in the second half, that's how they win football games. And I thought the defense was, again, outstanding. What worries me a little bit, anticipating your next question, is that you get 4 turnovers. The opening kickoff is a fumble. The defense gets 3 interceptions, and offensively, you only score 22 points. And again, you're right. The most important thing is the win. But big picture, if we're thinking winning Super Bowls, I think the defense is capable. I think the run game is capable. I think the pass game has got to be better.
Do you have the book that A.J. Brown has? Seems like a very you book.
I don't have the book.
Do you want it for your birthday?
No. But thank you for asking. Apparently, he did, isn't that like the number 1 book right now? Because
yeah, it went up like 5 million% or something. It's the number 1 book on Amazon.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. That author's life has been changed by A.J. Brown reading him on the sideline.
You're going to see guys getting deals now.
Book deals?
Just whatever. Bring it to the sideline, I don't know. It just is crazy to me that was the result of people seeing him read a book on the sideline.
No, you know what's going to happen? They're not going to get deals. NFL's going to say you can't not bring personal items to the sideline.
No, you're right.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, but anyway, talk to me about the passing game. That's what everyone in Philly has been talking about. What did you see in the Packers game?
It doesn't really bother me that they only threw it 21 times or 13 for 21. The numbers don't bother me. What I like about it are there no turnovers, no fumbles, no interceptions. He took 2 sacks. A few weeks ago, we talked about the pass game, and I talked about getting the ball out of your hands on time and giving your talented wideouts a chance to make plays. And I felt like we're back to that again a little bit. I took notes literally on every play, and here are the ones that bother me, Leigh.
Okay.
And in the first half, again, they got 3 turnovers in the first half and only scored 10 points. They had a series in the red zone where they threw 3 passes in a row and kicked a field goal. So not only was it an inefficient pass game because it was 3 passes in a row, right? 2 of them are what they call zero coverage, where they're playing man-to-man with an all-out blitz. And in the NFL, when you see that, like, everybody's eyes ought to get real bright because it's a risk-reward by the defense. If you can hold them just a tick, it usually gives your wideouts a chance to win because it's man-to-man, no help. So they had
especially when your wideouts are A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, right?
Right. Yeah. So we have an opportunity to make a play, and they give you the zero coverage look twice out of 3 times in the red zone, and the Eagles were unable. The first one, it looked like they were confused. He got rid of the ball quickly with pressure. The next one, he tried to extend the play, ran out of the pocket, threw it away. And the final one, they tried to set up a running back middle screen. And again, it was zero coverage. So you got number 6 and number 11 out there, man-to-man, no help. So to me, I think the answers have to be more simplistic. Like if it's zero coverage and you've got 2 of the best wideouts in the league, you got to make defenses pay for that rather than being a little confused or holding on to the ball. And I'm not putting this on the quarterback. This is big picture.
Right.
And then they had another, so that was really inefficient. Late in the first half, they had another 3 and out, all 3 passes. They went sack, incompletion, and then 3rd and 13, Jalen scrambled for 8. I thought he had a chance to try and throw it down the field to AJ on a deep post. And I'm like, if it's 3rd and 13 and the free safety, you can throw it over the free safety, which I think he could have, and give him a one-on-one chance to make a play on 3rd and 13, I think you take it. And then right before the half, they get the ball back. They had a 3rd and 4 with a little time left, 3rd and 4, and A.J. Brown wins on a slant route. He beats Keyshawn Nixon on a slant route, and the ball was thrown late, and the right guard and the right tackle got pushed back in the quarterback's face, and he threw it in the dirt. You got to trust him to win, and as soon as he clears the corner, the ball's out. And if they catch that, they're going to score points, either a field goal or a touchdown. So I kind of felt like they had all these opportunities in the first half. They had 2 3 and outs that were passed. All 6 of them were passes. And then the 3rd and 4, you got to make that play. And I watched about 4 hours of Detroit Lion tape this morning because I have them on Saturday night. And, man, if you come out in 0, they make you pay. They just attack you relentlessly. But anyway, so that I'm picking nits. As you know, I'm a huge fan of what the Eagles do and how they do it.
I thought you were going to say, as I know, you're a nitpicker.
No, I'm picking nits, and I'm not trying to be critical. But what I am saying is that if you're an Eagle fan and want to win a Super Bowl, I think the defense is there. I think the run game's there. I think the pass game's got to be more efficient.
Okay, then if we are looking ahead to this weekend's divisional game against the Los Angeles Rams in Philly, what do you think the Rams are looking at that game tape from the Eagles and the Packers, and they're thinking that's what we're going to do? We're going to play zero coverage until they beat us, or until we make Jalen throw. What are they going to do?
Yeah, I think let's take a step back and go back to Week 12. The Eagles smacked them. It was 37-20.
Yeah. 37-20, yeah. But Saquon Barkley had like 255 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, the 2 touchdowns were 72 and 70. Okay? And on the 72-yard run, which was a counter, he didn't even get touched by a Ram. Okay, that's how good the blocking was.
That's crazy.
Okay, so if you go back to that, I went back because my daughter is fairly demanding. And I went back and I read some clips from that week in that game. And Sean McVay, who I like, I think he and Les Snead do a great job with the Rams. Right. So Sean was quoted as saying that if you have the right people in the locker room, getting whacked like they got whacked was an opportunity to get better, reset goals. The way he put it was a humbling experience and a growth opportunity. He's way better spoken than I am. So
just a little more succinct.
yeah, it was perfect. Yeah, a little more. And then the Rams after that game won 5 in a row. Okay, and they're a completely different team than that 37-20 game. Okay, so if you're a Philly fan, you ought to be worried because offensively they got a quarterback that is all pro, Pro Bowl, Matthew Stafford. He knows what's coming. He's one of the most accurate big arm quarterbacks I've ever been around. Kyron Williams is a really good running back. Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp are as good a pair of wideouts as, the Eagles have.
As the Eagles, yeah.
They're high level. Tyler Higbee's really good. Their O-line. So they're going to score, they're going to challenge the Eagles defense. All right. And defensively, that's where I think the big difference with the Rams are. And I think Les Snead has drafted a bunch of dogs on the front seven. And he's got a bunch of young guys that are flying up the field. And last week, they just went nuts in their game.
The Vikings game. So I wanted to ask you about that too. What did you see from the Rams in that aspect? Was it their defense but I mean, they put up a ton of points, so it was all around game, right? That they just
but
Sam Darnold.
The pressure they put on the quarterback, and the last few weeks, the pressure they've been putting on the quarterback has been unbelievable. And what Les Snead, the GM, is they haven't had. I mean, if you remember, they mortgaged their future, traded away Jared Goff for Matthew Stafford, and gave up some first-round picks. And they mortgaged their future to win a Super Bowl, and they did. And everybody thought they were going to fall right off the cliff. And since then, Les basically hasn't missed on a draft pick. So a year ago, 23, they drafted a defensive end named Byron Young and a defensive tackle named Kobe Turner, who last year had phenomenal years as rookies. This year, he gets Jared Verse in the first round, who's probably going to be the defensive rookie of the year. Braden Fisk in the second round, and Cam Kitchens, a free safety, in the third. So he gets 3 quality playmakers this year who are all starting as rookies. 2 quality ones started last year. So he's got 5 kids that are playing their tails off and getting better every week because they're so young. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So it's like the defense coordinator, Shula, and this really young defense are growing together, and they're getting better and better. So they're going to be.
So that's dangerous.
Yeah, they're going to be, because they know they gave up 250 yards to Saquon in week 12. So they're going to go.
So is that going to be? What do you think their game plan is going to be defensively?
Gotta be. It's got to be 26 can't beat us.
Stop the run.
Yeah, that's what it has to be. He had 255 yards. Every week Eagles go out there and he puts 100 plus up, and then they get single coverage. They're going to dare the quarterback to beat them, is what I think is ultimate. Not all the time, not every snap, but they have to commit to the run game. Okay,
and then in reverse, what do the Eagles on defense versus this Rams offense that seems to be cooking right now? What do they have to do?
I think continue what they're doing, which is, you've heard me use the term top down on defense, meaning you play from the back end up and you don't let anything over your heads. The Eagles had 3 interceptions last week, and Green Bay tried a double move on Slay. Didn't work. Slay didn't bite, didn't let him over top, makes the play. I mean, this friggin' Zach Baun, your guy.
No, he's just unreal.
Leigh, so on the second interception, he gets it. Right, he kind of baited the quarterback into throwing a dig, and he just did like that. The third interception was Quinyon Mitchell, the backside corner on a really long, deep over route. Your guy, Zach Baun's job is to try to – so this is a 250-pound linebacker running under a wideout for 50 yards. 50. And he's right in his hip pocket, 50 yards. And then they throw it way up in the air, and Quinyon Mitchell comes, which he's supposed to do, from the other side. But the main reason it was picked off is Zach Bond. So
Right.
I get fired up talking about Zach Bond because we both like him so much.
I know.
But
how worried are you about not aside from Nakobe Dean feeling bad for him and it's just unfortunate with the injuries, how worried are you about plugging that defense?
A little bit. I mean,
their depth.
Nakobe Dean.
Didn't they just sign Nick Morrow too?
Yeah.
Weren't you a Nick Morrow guy?
Well, he was with us with the Raiders, and he's smart. He's gotten a little bit older. I don't think he's as dynamic, quick, fast as he used to be, but he's a good depth player because he's smart and understands he was with them last year, so he understands the Eagles scheme. So I think it's a good pickup. I don't think he's going to play defense unless there's a problem, but he's a good pickup.
Just good depth there.
Yeah.
But what do you think they're going to do? They have to change their scheme at all with Nakobe Dean out, or can they rely on the next guy up?
Yeah. I mean, Oren Burks came in, did a good job.
Did he? Is that?
Yeah, he had 4 tackles and ran around. I mean, he's been. It's not like he's a rookie. He's been around the league a few years. He's been with the Eagles. Will it be a little bit of a drop off? Yeah, a little bit, but I don't think significant enough that you really change much.
What did you see from Matt Stafford and the Rams offense versus the Vikings?
Well, I mean, Stafford is hard to fool. And I think the reason they're so hard to defend is they have really good balance. Like this Kyren Williams, the tailback is really good.
Yep. Their
offensive line is really solid. So you got to stop the run, but Stafford has got as big an arm as anybody in the NFL. And if you slip up one step, he's going to make you pay, especially on the deep and intermediate stuff. So I think what the Eagles just have to be concerned about is not, again, top down. If he throws a 16-yard dig route, it's okay. Go just tackle him. He's going to take some shots down the field. And it's going to be similar to last week where we talked about Josh Jacobs, who's a really good football player.
Dad, he was a monster on Sunday. A monster.
I mean, but he couldn't beat the Eagles. He had 18 carries for 81 yards. So that's 4.5. If Kyren Williams does that, I think the Eagles will be fine.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So they're what Vic Fangio.
So they can allow that and they'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't want to say they can't just keep getting gashed in the run game, but I think Vic's going to challenge them to continue to run the football all day long because he doesn't want them throwing anything over top and those 2 wideouts are really good. And those 2 wideouts both block in the run game. Like Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp are as good blockers as wideouts as anybody in the friggin' league. So I think the game I did last week, the Tampa-Washington game, it was the same situation as the Eagles game this week. And in that, Washington had lost week 1 to Tampa 37-20. The exact same score that the Eagles beat the Rams. 37-20. Washington came back and turned it around and beat Tampa Bay the other night. And it was a completely different football game. And what I'm saying is I think the Rams are a different football team, and I think it's going to be a really close, tough game.
Everyone talks about how Sean McVay is, a mastermind and how he game plans. Is that something you'd be worried about, considering they did lose the first time around? Should the Eagles be worried about just some crazy schematics from Sean McVay?
I don't think it's like the crazy gadget plays. I think what Sean is really good at, and like he and John Gruden are good buddies, and they think alike. And the McVays and the Gruden families go back like 3 football generations. They've all known each other, grandfathers, fathers.
That sounds like so much football.
Yeah. So the reason you say, do you worry about Sean? I do, just because he's really good at what he does, not because he's going to dial up a gadget play that's crazy, but just because he's going to look at the tape in week 12 and he and his defense coordinator, Shula, they're going to have something else for Barkley. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be a different look. And then offensively, I just think he's really good. I think he'll be patient. I don't think you're going to get 3 interceptions from Matthew Stafford. So the Eagles offense better be on point, because I think the Rams are going to force Jalen Hurts and the wideouts to beat them.
I mean, it sounds like the right game plan to me, right?
Well, we've been talking about that. What do we say? Like,
that's been all season.
8 weeks ago. Like, sooner or later, somebody's going to force them to beat them in the air only, because they're going to take away.
Right.
So I don't know if this is the week or not, but I'll tell you what, I think it's going to be a fun football game.
No, it's in Philly. The Eagles are ready. It'll be a good win. That's my prediction.
Okay, good. I mean, and
do you have a game this weekend?
Yeah, I'm in Detroit. I've got Washington, who I had last week, at Detroit, and I'm looking forward to getting there because Jimmy O'Neill, one of the defensive back coaches, was with us with the Raiders, and DJ Dwayne Joseph, my guy in the personnel department, runs their scouting department. So
you'll see all your buddies.
Yeah, get a chance and hopefully get a chance to see Amik, and because he played his tail off.
He's been killing it. Yeah.
You saw that video, right? The game ball he got.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
Cool. We'll have fun with your buddies.
Thank you.
Yes.
You're going to get a workout? You're going to get a workout, Leigh?
Yeah, I'm going to Pilates. Yeah, I'm going to Pilates. I got off the wait list, so I got excited. Thanks for moving up your time to allow me to do so.
Oh, somebody shoot me.
Okay, thanks, Dad.
All right,
hopefully I'll be talking to you next week after another win.
Sounds good. Love you.
Right, bye. Love you.